SoundStudios.com, broadcasting you to the world.
Okay, everybody, this is Doug Vater's Vater Entertainment Live, and we have a real special guest. I know I say that every time, but every guest I have is special. Right, Rob?
Well,
So, yeah. So, anyways, this guy right here, and he's a personal friend of mine, and he's an awesome actor, and he's also a stage actor as well. He does a lot of theater, but right now I'm going to let Rob tell you exactly who he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Elfstrom.
hi,
All right.
everyone, and thank you very much for that introduction,
You're welcome.
Doug.
You're
I'm
welcome.
going to tell my agent about that. We'll probably ask for more money.
Probably right.
Yeah, well, as you can see, I am an elderly gentleman. I've been doing this for a very short period of time.
Okay.
This was my second career. You know, I was a geek most of my life, and I retired from doing that, and I went back to school. And I was going to become a psychiatrist because I figured, well, why not? Everybody else is. So
Oh, yeah.
I went back to college for a couple of years, and you know, I needed to take a break, so I took some electives. I took a drama course, and that changed everything. The kids were doing Cyrano de Bergerac,
Well, there you go.
which was one of my favorite plays. And in fact, I knew many of the scenes by heart, and so they talked me into doing it, and I was, you know, I really never thought about acting,
Mm-hmm.
but I did it. I had so much fun that I changed my major to drama, and that's where this all started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, so that's the first theater thing you've done, right? Is that was the first thing?
Right, I did Cyrano, and then I did Antigone, you know, went through the Greeks,
Mm-hmm.
Medea, and I think the third play, when I was doing Medea, they brought Fred Johnson in from the Performing Arts Center in Tampa. He at the time was the vice president of education out there.
Right.
Fred Johnson is, you know, for people here, he's our local talent. He's a singer, songwriter, and he was writing plays for the summer stock.
Mm-hmm.
And they would bring in, you know, 100 kids,
Wow.
and we would do a show every year.
Mhm.
And he saw me and he said, "I've got a part for you."
Oh, cool.
And I didn't even know who Fred Johnson was, so I was like, okay. And I went over and I auditioned, and I did 5 years with Fred, and it was one of the most wonderful experiences of my life.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you, I guess you enjoy theater and everything. So,
Well, there's something exhilarating about getting up in front of a bunch of people
mm-hmm.
and, you know, just letting it all go
Yep.
and having a good time, and then at the end, seeing how much they appreciate it. I mean, every show was gangbusters. I mean, when you have 1 to 300 kids, you pretty much
Mhm.
own the audience. So.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. I started going to venue
Mhm.
and studying under Corinne Brasquette at the time,
Cool.
and that turned out to be one of the best decisions that I ever made, because right after I started studying with Corinne, I auditioned for a film in Miami, and I got my first lead.
Wow. Wow. What was the first feature film you've done?
I did a film in Miami called Advent,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a professor at the University of Miami who had a script that he had written 15 years earlier, and he had now gotten a grant from the university to produce it. So
Mhm.
I heard about the part, so I drove down to Miami. I auditioned, and of course I got the part. And what was another great thing about it is there were a couple of other professors there, and I was offered several projects. So
Wow.
I thought, well, maybe I'm not that bad at this. But it was a science fiction film.
Yep.
It was about a priest who had died and was put into suspended animation,
Oh, wow.
and he was brought back in the future to a world where humanity no longer existed. It was all androids.
Oh, wow. That ain't the priest picture I have here, right? Is that what that's
No,
from?
that's a different picture.
That's a different picture. Okay.
Right.
Uh,
And the androids wanted to learn what faith was.
Oh, there you go.
So
That's a good one.
It was an interesting concept.
Yeah, I like that.
And I had so much fun, and I can't tell you how addictive it is to do your first film and be the lead.
Wow.
Because when you're the lead, it's all about you, and so
Wow.
you kind of get spoiled right from the start, and I was.
Oh, sure.
But then I knew that film was for me.
Yeah. All right. So this the priest one on here. Which film was this one?
That is a film that I did. It's called The Samaritan.
Okay.
It was a 16. I think it was maybe only an 8-minute film or a 12-minute film. I don't remember exactly. Evan Smith
Evan Smith.
had done this, and Evan is marvelous. He's a wonderful guy to work with.
Yeah.
And in fact, what was interesting about this particular film, I don't particularly want to play parts where I'm the bad guy
Right.
for real. Like,
Mhm.
in other words, when it comes to pedophiles and things like that, this
Right.
particular priest was not a good guy.
Oh no.
But, I wanted to work with Evan,
Mhm.
and so I did this film. And when it went to the Toronto Film Festival, someone bought it.
Wow.
So, I mean, for an 8-minute film to get sold, and that's pretty interesting.
So is this the second time you played a priest?
Well, it's the second time I played a priest in a film.
I see. Okay.
I did play a Capuchin monk in Cyrano.
Ah.
And in some commercials that I had done, I played doctors, priests. I had done a whole bunch of commercials at the time I was on stage,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much a rat race.
Oh yeah.
And I got kind of tired of running back and forth to Orlando to audition in Miami, and I just said, there wasn't enough money to justify it, and certainly there were very few opportunities for a large national campaign.
Mhm.
And so I kind of gave that up and concentrated on the stage and whatever film work I could get.
No, I know you've worked with a lot of people. I've known you myself for I think about 5 years now. I've known you,
It's
right?
longer than
It
that.
hasn't been longer than that. Probably since I've been over there. So, and I've been there. I was there 10.5 years.
Well, do you remember when we
So-
met?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was one of the. Was it one of Joel's events?
No, we met in Best Buy.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You're right. In the camera department, right? When I
Right.
was there. That's right.
I came
That's
in,
right.
I was looking for a new camera.
That's right.
I was asking you questions, talked you up. We got to talking, and I think we spoke for about an hour and a half till the rest of your customers got nervous.
Yeah, probably. That's probably right. Yeah, and then because we know the same people and everything, and because I've known Joel. I don't know how many years now. It's been at least 10 that I've known Joel, maybe more than that, and we've done so many things together, and then I know that you're an awesome actor, and
Oh, thank you.
and there's one memorable one, and I said when I seen this, you've worked with a lot of people. Okay, we're going to talk about the Guzzo brothers.
Okay.
I need you to tell me about them, and then I'm going to play this clip that I love this one. This particular one you did with Pete and Paul Guzzo, and then once I seen that, I says, this guy's awesome. So tell us about Pete and Paul Guzzo.
Thanks. Well, Pete and Paul are two of my favorite people in the world. Back in, I think it was like 2003 or 2004, they were having these film meetings in Ybor City on 7th Avenue in a coffee shop.
Right.
And I had heard about it, and I had called a few people that I was doing stage work with, and we were doing like some local dinner theaters and things like that. And so I told them about this meeting, and I said, we should go and see what's going on. And they were like, well, we'll talk about it.
Mhm.
Anyway, when the meeting came around, I had the flu. And so my friend called me up, and he said, well, I want to go.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I'm sick. And he goes, no, you got to go. This was your idea. So I went. And I sat through the whole meeting. I wasn't feeling very well, and mostly it was producers, scriptwriters, DPs, tech people.
Mhm.
There wasn't any other actors there.
Wow.
So I remember that I forget exactly who it was. I had asked Pete about his new project, which was the dance, and he said, well, I've got everything ready to go, but I don't have a lead.
Wow.
So I just walked over to Pete, I gave him my resume and said, call me, I can do this.
Yep.
So he called me, he auditioned me, and I got the part. And what a blast we had doing this. We got Al Sapienza came out from Hollywood.
Wow.
Al was, he's in The Sopranos. He's done over 100 films, and just working with him was wonderful. But Pete and Paul, they just work.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're doing. They like what they're doing, and they give you the freedom to be yourself and to do the part the way you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really loved about working with them, is that I could do Joey Russo the way I picture Joey Russo.
Right.
And they loved it, and they let me go with it. And in fact, some of my ad-lib lines became part of the film.
Well, I loved it myself, so I'm going to show everybody what we're talking about, because this is awesome.
I have the same phone. Before we commence, I would love to dispense some of my knowledge on you. You said you wanted to ask me a few questions, so go ahead, shoot.
How did you earn your spurs?
Spurs? People still use that expression. My spurs, as you put it, turned out to be the delicate task of removing Capone's girlfriend. She was a drunk and a whore. A real embarrassment to him. He loved her. I mean, he truly loved her. But business is business. I was only a teenager at the time, so I think he hired me thinking I wouldn't go through with it. So he would take care of me for failing him and not touch her. Justifying not killing her by saying me chickening out was a sign from God. I did it without even flinching. Capone may have lost a true love, but I think he learned to love me just as much. But obviously in a different way. He knew I had ice water in my veins. After that, Nitty got all depressed, but I did all the dirty work.
So after that, you were the man.
That's the way they do it. Separate the weak from the real professionals. When a hitman comes of age, they send him out on a tough assignment, one they know he may not have the ability or the heart to do. You pass the test, you're the man. If you fail, you're a corpse. Most men fail, though. Only a few of us have gone on to do great things. That's why most guys don't want to be professional hitmen. It's a risky venture to get into. But I look at you and I can see you got what it takes. You're going to be a great one.
So, after that, how did you stay the man for so long?
Because I was a professional. I'd get a call from the boss and he'd say just two things. The victim's name and where to go. That's it, then hang up. I'd go straight to the doomed man's home and take care of him. No conversations, no explanations, no pleas, no goodbyes, no smoking and no drinking. Just one shot to his head. If his wife and kids were there, I'd take care of them too. If I couldn't get to the man's house, I'd lure him someplace to my liking. Always keep him on your home turf. Makes it easier to clean up the mess and dispose of the evidence. When the job was done, the boss would check on me again, just simply by calling. Only this time he wouldn't say a word.
There you go. That was awesome. It was awesome. Oscar moment. I'm telling you.
Jeez.
I love that. You're just a perfect gangster, my friend. So tell us, where was that filmed?
We filmed that in Ybor City.
Ybor City. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. It took us quite a while to shoot that scene because it's pretty busy there.
Oh yeah.
We had a lot of traffic noise. We pretty much had to shoot the scenes in between the traffic.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But we finally got it. It took us all night.
Now, who was the cinematographer? Do you remember who did that?
Oh, Pete did all the camera work.
Oh, okay. So Pete and Paul worked together, and he did most of it. So Paul directed?
Pete was directing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the dance, that was pretty much mostly Pete's deal. Pete did everything. I mean, Pete did the lighting. He did all the camera work. And, you know, you could say that, of course, Pete did all the directing, but Pete has a light hand on the directing. He pretty much directs the crew
Right.
and tells you, you know, basically what he wants you to do, and then he lets you do it. And, you know, he might make some corrections from time to time, but, you know, he gives you a little latitude. So it was very easy to work with him.
That's cool. You've worked with a lot of other people as well. So I think you've done a couple of things for Andy Lolino, right? Brain Jacked was one of them.
Did Brain Jacked.
Tell us how it is working with Andy.
Oh, the Andes are great.
Yeah, ain't they? I know.
They just, I mean, they just have a whole business, professional business attitude towards making the film. I mean, they want to have fun, but, you know, everything is organized to the last degree. And of course, you know, when you work with Andy, you get paid.
Right. That's right. Yeah, he's a true professional. I really like Andy. He's done a lot. You remember Filthy? Did you do anything with Filthy?
I wasn't involved in Filthy.
Yeah. What else did you do that?
I did. I was in the O show.
That's right.
I had a
The O
walk
show.
on with Joel as you know, part of his entourage.
Right.
When the O show was being cast, I auditioned for one of the supporting roles
Okay.
that Jack Amos beat me out for. I mean, he got the part. Jack's, you know, he's a wonderful actor. Whenever he shows up for the same part, I'm looking at, like, you know, I get agita because he's so good.
Yep.
But he got that part, and so I was like, okay, you know, I mean, I wanted to be in it, especially because they had quite a bit of funding for that film.
Right.
So I knew it was going to go to distribution. But, you know, Andy said, listen, we'll find a spot for you somewhere. I want you to just be in there because you're part of the family.
Right.
You know, and that's the way Andy did things. It's like when you work with Andy, you're part of the family.
That's right.
And so I did a walk-on, you know. It was okay. I got to hang out for 3 days to do that walk-on, so I had a lot of fun.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Andy. He's a good friend of mine too. So, and anything he's involved with, it's like I said, it's professional. It's always professional. So, all right. Now I know you've done some stuff for Chris Woods too. So, what's the one you did for Chris recently?
Chris is my man.
Yeah.
I did. Well, I did this. Excuse me. I did a dark comedy with Joel.
Yeah. This is a picture up there now.
Yeah, and you know, that was a gas.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember when we did that, we had the most severe thunderstorms of the year while we were shooting that film. I mean, the pounding of the rain was so loud.
Wow.
It was very difficult. It affected the sound of the film.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Now that was done in the studio Rich Keene had, right?
Yeah.
And Mark, I can't remember Mark's last name.
Yeah, I don't.
Mark and Rich Keene.
Yeah, it was a flat roof
Yeah.
studio,
Right.
so the rain really pounded.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And in fact, you know, you couldn't even go outside.
Yeah.
The rain was coming down so hard. If you went out, you got soaking wet. So everybody was kind of stuck in there until we were done. But you know, to me, that was so much fun because I got to work with some of my favorite people. I mean, I got to work with Rod Grant,
Yep.
Joel Wynkoop, and Chris Woods.
All right, tell us about your buddy Joel.
Joel.
Yeah, isn't he something? I
Joel.
love Joel.
Joel is, I mean, I don't really have a word. I just say he's Joel.
He's Joel.
But the first time I met Joel, we were doing Angora. I was
that's
doing a
right.
scene for Angora.
I was there too.
That's right.
Yep, Gus. Yeah.
And you know, it was Gus. I guess it was. Is it Gus Perez's
Yeah.
project?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was. Yeah.
So I was going to do this scene with Joel,
Mhm.
and it was an interesting scene where, you know, somebody was dying, and we were crouched over the body and freaking out, and that's one of Joel's things.
Yep.
once Joel gets on a roll. Well, Joel did his part, and we all delivered our lines, and we got the scene shot really well. And then Joel just kept going.
Yep.
And he kept going. And the scene went on outside.
Yep.
And it went on for like about an hour. And I didn't know, is this part of the film? Because Joel was so wired. I mean, he just kept going with the scene.
Right.
He has a kind of energy that's infectious. And when
It
you
is.
work with Joel, it reaches out to everybody in the film. And that's why I really want to do a project with Joel in the future, and there's something coming up, and can't tell you much about it
That's
right now.
okay.
All I know is that the script is being written, and it's going to be a feature, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's I've done several things with Joel Wynkoop. It's like I said, Joel's also a true professional. He's the B movie king. You know what I mean? And we've done Spooky Empire together. We've done so many things, numerous commercials. He's just an awesome actor, and I've known him, like I said, a long time now. And we kicked it off right away. The first time, I'm going to tell you, the first time I met Joel was we went to one of the Comic-Cons. It was a play he was at there. Actually, I think he met me before I met him doing that, because what he did, I think we were doing like the Tampa comic book show or whatever, and I had my my RoboCop. I had a whole RoboCop outfit, and I had RoboCop there, and he brought his kids over. He still has that to this day. I think the picture with the robot from Lost in Space I built too. So he actually took a picture, so he still has those of him and his kids. Those pictures, and he always says to me, he says, man, we go way back, because I remember bringing my kids in and taking pictures with the robots and stuff. So yeah, Joel is just awesome. He really is. True professional through and through. All right, so you've done a couple of things for me. So, but actually, before that, I want to know where you caught this fish that you hold in here.
Oh,
That awesome fish.
that is one of about 20.
That's
I
a
caught
bass,
that
right,
day.
you said?
That's a largemouth bass.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want to catch, Florida is the bass fishing
So you're a
state.
fisherman too.
I was a fisherman all my life.
Wow.
And when I came to Florida, I was prepared to be fishing the rest of my life.
Okay.
And I've really kind of gotten busy doing other things. But yeah, there's a lake out in Sanford. If you get off the I-4 exit at Sanford,
Oh, yeah.
there's a huge lake there,
Wow.
and there's a county marina dock where you can put in, and if you know anything about bass fishing, you'll know that you're in nirvana when you get on the water, and you'll find them. The little ones are 8 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, so I actually gave up fishing that day. I had caught so many bass by 11 o'clock. I was done. It was time to go home. Just really had a wonderful time. And I've been out there 3 or 4 times. And I'd like to get out and do a little bit more, but to tell you the truth right now, I'd like to do a couple of films.
Oh, there you go. Now, I know you like to travel as well, and we have this picture, and tell us who this young lady is in this picture with you.
Well, I'm assuming that you're showing a picture of me and my wife.
Yeah, and that's in Italy, right?
Okay,
Leaning
right.
Tower
we're
of
in-
Pisa.
We were in Pisa.
There you go.
Yeah, last year, can I give you a little history about things that have been going on for me
Go ahead.
and work into that?
Sure.
Well, I have only done a few projects in the last few years, and the reason being is that about 3 years ago, we started losing members of our older generation in my
Yeah.
family. So I had to turn down about 5 or 6 projects in 1 year, and I went out to Oregon where Luann's father lives,
Right.
and he was diagnosed with brain cancer.
Oh, jeez.
And so we were out there for 3 or 4 months,
Yeah.
and we did everything that we could to help wherever we could. It was a little more than Mom could handle. And then we came back, and a couple of days after we came back, he passed away. So we went back, and anyway, right after that, Luann's grandmother, who was 96 at the time, had fallen, and she broke her hip.
Oh.
And
jeez.
so for the next year, we were running back and forth to Oregon,
Mm-hmm.
taking care of Grandma.
Right.
And, of course, then she passed. So now this was 2 years that I had really been unable to commit to any projects.
Right.
And at the time I was being offered a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
But, family comes first.
That's right.
And,
That's right.
and then just this year, I thought, okay, going to get back to doing stuff. And starting in December, my favorite uncle, who was the guy who actually taught me to fish and hunt when I was a kid, because my dad was always working, he developed cancer and he passed away in January. And then my dad became ill. So between December and April, I've been mostly in New Jersey, freezing,
Wow.
4 and 5 degrees, at the hospital with my pop, and he passed on April 9th. So,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Bob.
pretty much we've lost a whole generation in our family, and it's been a tough 3 years for my wife and I. But
Yeah.
we're strong,
That's good.
faith-wise and
strong.
spiritually, and so we've done what we can. We have brothers and sisters, and so we have a lot of support.
Right.
But now that the healing process is beginning, I want to get back to work.
Yeah, there you go.
I
There you
really
go.
want to get back to work. I've missed
Well-
a number of years doing what I had to do, and now I just want to get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And
Well, like I said, you're a true professional. Anybody out there watching this today, you guys need a gangster. Here's your man right here. Anybody needs any kind of theater actor, you can do several different things. So he's been a priest. He has a wide range. So if anybody needs a nice, really professional actor,
if you want to do a comedy, I'm available.
there you go. Bob,
I can do comedy.
there you go. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you, okay? In case they want to.
Okay, well, if you want to get in touch with me, I don't have a web link at the current time, but I'm on Facebook.
There you go.
And
The correct spelling is right there, Rob Elfstrom.
great. And if you send me a message on Facebook, I'll get it. I will respond. If you got a project and you think I might be able to help you with it,
There you go.
give it a shot.
How about an email address? You got an email address?
You can contact me at Relfstro, RELFSTRO, @gmail.
Okay. .com, right?
That's right.
That's good. All right. Now, you've done a couple of projects for me, so we're going to get those because those
Okay.
are I wanted to leave those last because they're special to me. So, folks, I called Rob one day, and I says, Rob, are you a Star Trek fan? And he says, oh yeah. I says, well, you know what? How about wearing a prosthetic or something like? Oh, I don't know, but I'm going to let you tell everybody. I'm going to show the picture, and then we're going to get into. There you go, the picture of. Tell them how that was. You got to tell you're the only one that can really tell the story about the teeth. So I'm going to let you do that.
Well, if I tell the truth here, Doug, you may not put me in any more of your films. But
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
anyway, Doug called me up and to ask me to do this part, and little did he know that I've been a Trekkie from the '60s.
There you go.
And I'm a fanatic for anything that has to do with Star Trek, Star Wars, anything like that. So he wanted me to play a Ferengi, which wasn't my favorite part. I mean, because you can't see me. I'm going to be wearing a prosthetic. So anyway, I came over. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be one of these cheeseball things you get at a Party City, but it was a really good prosthetic. So
Yeah,
I
this was
like,
this was a good
okay,
one. Yeah.
all right, we can do this, and so nobody knows it's me. That's all right. So anyway, we get the prosthetic on, we get all the makeup on, and look fabulous. And then he goes, well, I got these teeth. And I'm like, what do you mean teeth? Well, how am I supposed to wear the teeth? He's got these fangs.
This
So-
ain't the one he wore. He actually wore a prosthetic with glue in the makeup. This one's just a mask of Quirk, but you were actually wearing the prosthetic, the real stuff that they do in Hollywood. That was actually a Hollywood prosthetic that was registered from the Paramount. That was actually a Paramount registered product that you were wearing. So
And by the way, I had to wear it all day,
yes,
waiting.
yes,
That was one of the things that really
yes.
was driving me nuts because, see, he wanted me to wear these teeth. And now, okay, well, they didn't really fit. I mean, you couldn't put them in and talk with them. And I had lines, so we came up with, all of this stuff for dentures and everything, and none of that stuff worked. So I was like, Doug, there's no way that I can get these teeth, and I'm going to be able to wear these teeth and speak.
Right.
I could put them in and not speak. So I called my wife because I was pretty frustrated. Actually, I was freaking out because I had been wearing this prosthetic most of the day.
I think you tried everything except crazy glue, right?
Yeah.
To keep those teeth in.
So my wife says, I'll be right over. She comes over, she drives up, she gives me this huge roll of bubble gum. She says, this will work. So I'm like, this is not going to work. Anyway, I chew up this huge wad of bubble gum, and lo and behold, the teeth actually stay in
Yep.
the bubble gum. Now,
Yep.
my mouth is a little full, but at least I can speak and the teeth are in. But now I still didn't get on set for like 2 hours, so I had to keep chewing bubble gum.
You know I love you for that, buddy. You know I love you for that. You did an awesome job.
It was a trip. I was so relieved when we finally got the scenes done because I was worried about how it was going to, if the teeth would fall out. I mean, of course, it's film. We can do it over.
That's
but,
right.
I'm people who work with me know that when I come on the set, I know my lines and I'm ready to go.
Well, I'm going to show everybody the clip that I'm talking about here.
Okay.
You've done an awesome job.
Helmsman, hail that ship.
Hi, Captain.
What is your purpose here, Juan?
This is Captain Harriman of the Federation starship Genesis. I received reports of an anomaly in this area. I thought you might be in need of assistance.
That is none of your concern. You must leave, now! Unless you have something you're willing to trade.
Trade? I don't think I have anything you want.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do not. Perhaps I have something you want.
I highly doubt that.
Are you sure? Take a closer look.
What is this? Why are you holding this woman hostage?
That is none of your concern, Captain.
It is when a Federation officer is being held against her will.
What makes you think he's being held against her will?
She doesn't look like she wants to be there with you.
Perhaps we can negotiate a trade. This human female for some gold platinum.
I don't have time for this. Computer, lock onto the human female and bring her aboard.
Coordinates locked. Transporter energizing.
That was awesome. That was awesome. I gotta give you a clap for that one, buddy. Really, seriously, I love it. You guys made me feel so much, that it was worth it. It really was. And everybody that sees that, they say but they don't know the backstory, but now they do. So,
Well, I have to tell you that it's really exciting for me to be able to say that I've played a Ferengi.
Exactly.
And because when I think about it, I mean, who gets to play parts like that?
That's right.
It's just.
That's right.
I mean, the original actor who did the Ferengi in, I think it was Voyager,
Yes.
Armand.
Oh no, it was Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space
He
Nine.
actually
right.
did it then. Yeah,
I mean,
Deep Space Nine.
it's a fantastic character.
It is.
Although I would probably prefer to do other characters in the future.
Exactly, and I love you for doing that. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you again. I still owe you a night out, so I didn't forget about it. So we just haven't been able to get, together. But all right, so we did I called Rob again, and I said, okay, Rob. Now I need you to play a psycho doctor, a psycho dentist, actually. Remember?
Spynet.
Yeah. Yeah, so I says, well, I need you to work with CJ. And right off the bat, you said, oh, you love working with CJ. So, and I got a picture of that too. So I'm going to show that to everybody of you. Jules in the background with the gun.
Olga.
The gentleman, I forget what his name is. Jules, and then his friend came. Leo Gold is the stage name.
Mm-hmm.
He's a wrestler. And then CJ, and then Olga in the middle. And we had such a good time that day.
That was fun.
We had an awesome time. And I got a clip from Spynet as well. So this is Robert Elfstrom doing.
This is Dr. Head. He's dentist. Can you guess what he's going to do?
Don't worry, young lady. I will give you spinal for pain, but has side effects. It will hurt much worse later. And your spine will bend, causing paralysis, sometimes death. But I only give you little. But I only give you little.
Доктор, это не стерильно. Doctor, come closer. You will be the last to die.
And you were. No, we had so much fun doing that. And everybody loved working with you.
Really, well, working with Olga, she's really a special woman. She's just wonderful.
She is. Yeah, she is. And she blew me away with her. And I said to her, I says, well, when I first talked to her, and I says, I first met her at a Star Trek convention, actually the Tampa show. And she came in and she was in there and she was talking to us because they were all dressed up in the Star Trek uniforms. So, and then she comes and she says, oh, hello, I want to take pictures with you guys. And, hey, if you ever have any acting roles come up, give me a call. And so I got her on Facebook and I kept in touch. And I says, well, can you, your acting is real good. And she says she hasn't done anything before, but she took acting classes. So says I'm gonna try her. I'm gonna check it out. See how she does. And I'll tell you what, she blew me away. She blew everybody away doing that. And they had so much fun doing it. And they always talk about working with you. And you're such a professional. And that. So tell us how you enjoyed doing that.
Well, I was kind of hoping we would do a lot more episodes.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't an episode thing. This is a full-length feature film. And I guess you thought it was a...
I thought it was going to be an episodic internet
episodic thing.
series.
Right.
And which, of course, meant that once you killed me, I would really have to come back as something else.
That's right.
But it's been done before. I actually, when I did Arsenic and Old Lace, I played the priest in scene 1.
Mm-hmm.
I played Mr. Witherspoon in scene 3, and in scene 2 I played a dead body. So
wow.
It can be done.
All right, Rob. Is there anybody out there you would like to thank of your past?
Well, I would really like to thank some people that I've already mentioned before.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Johnson, Corinne Brasquette, who was my mentor.
Yeah.
But of course, all the people that have helped me all along the way, you, Chris Woods, Andy Lalino and Andrew Allen, the Guzzo brothers. There's just so many people over the years that I've met. Joe Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking forward to working with Joe, but we've met many times, talked about a lot of projects.
Yep.
Looking forward to doing something with Joe in the future. And and I guess in the long run, I'd like to thank my old professor at college, Sybil Wilson. She was my drama teacher. She taught me that life is fun.
Yep. there
Just
you
go and have fun.
All right. Say I love you, to your wife, because she's watching, right?
And listen, this is the most important person in my life.
There you
Without
go.
her,
There you go.
none of these things would have been happening.
Exactly.
She's had my back all these years, and she's my great supporter.
There you go. There you go. All right. We usually do a trivia question.
I'll get it wrong.
No, it's not for you. It's actually for
Oh,
the audience.
Okay, good.
But can you think of a good one? Something they can't get. Try to think of a real good trivia question you can ask the audience. So
A real good
yeah,
trivia
from a
question.
movie or from an event, something like that.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
okay.
just think of something.
Improvisation was never one of my strong points.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
there was no one's going to get this, so
Okay.
it's almost not fair.
Okay.
About 20 years ago, there was a film
Mhm.
on TV called The Medicine Hat Stallion.
Okay.
Where was that movie shot?
There you go. All right, you got it. The Medicine Hat Stallion. But you know the answer, so keep it to yourself.
I don't know the answer.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll figure. Yeah.
I want to
We'll
find
look it
out the answer.
Yeah, we'll look it up. All right. Anyways, Bob, I'm going to let you close the show. I usually do. Let the guests close the show now. So, guys, thank you for the bottom of my heart. Thank you for watching Vater Entertainment Live tonight. And just say goodbye, Bob.
Love you all. Goodbye, and
We
God
love
bless.
you too. All right. Good night, folks. Oh, before I forget, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.
TalkBroadStudios.com, broadcasting you to the world.